Delta's always striving to take the stress out of travel so you can focus on what comes next, including free messaging to keep you connected to the ground while you're in the air. Just connect to Wi-Fi to use iMessage, Facebook, Messenger, and WhatsApp for free. Purchase not required. Messaging and data rates do not apply.
Bill Plaschke, Woody Page, Israel Gutierrez, Clinton Yates on the grandest, gruntiest, robbiest, throwiest, rooniest weekend of the year. But all of that backseat to Brooks and Tiger. Thrilling golf display. And was this more about Tiger or Brooks debate you people demand? Look at this. Was it more about Tiger walking off or more about the tournament-winning putt that Brooks had? And the excitement that followed. Let's go around the horn. Honestly, where is the love for Brooks Koepka and where's the energy from Brooks Koepka?
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive bettors. Here's Tony Reali.
By the way, you people do realize the more about Brooks Koepka winning or Tiger Woods almost winning is more about you than it is about golf. Don't you understand? The golf is your soul. You're trying to buy back your soul. You can experience both, people. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Brooks' win on that scintillating tap-in. Tiger's greatest Sunday ever at a major. Golf's ratings up 69%. I think everybody's saying nice to that. Bill Plaschke, start us off. What was most impressive?
I saw an incredible, resilient performance Sunday. It wasn't Tiger, it was Brooks Koepka. Unbelievable. This was the biggest Tiger effect in the last 10 years. Yeah. He had people screaming. Nobody wanted him to win. He could hear the cheers from the tee above him. He bogeyed 2 holes, the first, I think 4 and 5 on the front 9, came back, ended with a couple birdies, got in trouble, missed some birdie putts in the back 9. Tiger's coming. Boom, 15, 16 birdies, both holes, clinches it. He held off, again, the greatest golfer of all time and the greatest buzz of all time in the last 10 years, and he was able to withstand that.
All right, so I do have somebody saying this is more about Brooks Koepka.
Absolutely.
Woody Page, how about you?
Well, Bill made most of my arguments for me. Tiger was coming. Yes, he was bringing the crowd to its feet. It was one of the most exciting days we've seen in golf in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, maybe since he last won a major. It was all about Tiger, really, when you think about it. I mean, the ratings, the crowd sizes, the excitement of the final day of the PGA, which is the 4th major, really, when you think about it. I mean, here's a guy that was in last December.
Hold on a second. I didn't want that to be lost by people. Hold on a second. It is the 4th major because it is the 4th major in order, Woody Page. Thank you. Thank you very much for that brilliant analysis. Go ahead.
Major. Oh, it's 22.
Yeah, go for it. What more did Tiger show you, Woody?
Consider this, Tony, that last December, Tiger was ranked 1,199th. He has moved up after 14 tournaments to 27th. He is in the top 12 in the Ryder Cup standings. He had only 10 putts on the front 9 and didn't hit one fairway. If he had 2 more putts this closer, he would have possibly shot a 61, even though it was his lowest score ever, a 64, in any major tournament.
All right, Clinton Yates, where are you on this debate?
Yeah, but that would explain exactly why I think it's Koepka. I'm watching the golf, Tiger spraying the ball all over the course, looking terrible. Why am I supposed to be impressed with that when he didn't even end up winning the tournament? Also, for Koepka, I mean, this guy's been on fire in majors, and that, to me, is the most impressive thing about all this. He's won 3 in the last 14. He hasn't missed a cut in 1. I'm sorry. That's impressive. I love the way this guy is emerging as one of the newest stars in golf, and frankly, one of the biggest stars in golf already. Impressive performance all the way.
Yeah, but for Koepka, it's 3 of the last 7 majors, so you didn't even give him full credit there, Clinton. And he's only played in 6 of them. Okay. Israel Gutierrez, is it Brooks or is it Tiger for you?
I think it's Tiger for a few reasons. I mean, the idea that Brooks held off Tiger Woods, I mean, he doesn't come back to beat anybody in a major. Like, if Tiger's behind you on the last day, you should be good. There's not additional pressure there. I understand, the crowd and the roars and everything else, but he's never done it before. So why should I be nervous about happening for me? And as opposed to what Clinton said about him spraying the ball all over the place in the front 9, well, the front 9 had been his friend the first 3 rounds. It was the back 9 that was his enemy. And look what he did there. Birdie 12, birdie 13, had that par putt lip out at 14, and that approach on 15 was 6. So I love what Tiger did. And if nothing else, he just announced that he is back. And he doesn't have to win all the time, but man, he is definitely back, and that was impressive.
Kind of stunned here, though, honestly. Bill Plaschke, we'll start with you, because you were seeing this more as a Koepka tournament than it was a Tiger tournament. Last week I asked, would it be a win for Tiger? The answer provided was, a win would be a win. But after everything we just saw, and again, Woody said it, he was 2 centimeters away from rolling in those incredible putts, and then who knows how this would have finished. Did yesterday change the way that plays out in your mind?
No, it does not. And if the fans, all the crazy fans, were surrounding him and everything, they all went home, I am sure, disappointed that he didn't win, because that's the standard he set for himself. He's going to have, let's face it, he's going to have to win a major before we can say he's back, because that's the standard that he set. And I guarantee all those fans were going crazy for him. But at the end of the day, just like Clinton said, the other guy won.
Israel just said he didn't agree with that. He thinks he's proven he's back. Woody Page, you want to dip your toe in that one?
Well, I'll agree that I think in order to really return to the top, he has to win a major. But already he's been installed as the second favorite to Jordan Spieth in the Masters next year. So, I mean, people are expecting him to come back to rise again to where he once was. And Brooks is always going to be our Mr. Brooks. He's a great world-class player, but the other guy is a history-class player.
Well, I would dispute that Tiger and Spieth are the favorite going into the Masters.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Brooks Koepka be if he's won 3 of the last
He didn't
6
play
times he's
this
suited
year.
it up?
He didn't play it this year.
All right, Yates, you want to address that?
The ratings are up 60-odd% on Sunday. They were also up 50% on Saturday, which means that people who aren't necessarily just casual fans are actually trying to watch golf on a day other than just when the final round is, which to me is as impressive as anything.
Yeah, the history of American golfers who have won a U.S. Open and a PGA in the same year, it's only 5, and now Brooks Koepka's on that. And the history of a guy who's won 3 of the last 7. I know Tiger did that 9 times, but not so shabby for Mr. Brooks Koepka by the age of 28. We'll move on. Maryland football. And where we are today with the death of player Jordan McNair being ruled from heat stroke after the May team workout. And the school placing Coach DJ Durkin on administrative leave. Clinton Yates, you're based in Washington, D.C., just a couple miles from the campus in Maryland here. ESPN.com piece put a spotlight on the culture of intimidation where McNair received little attention in his immediate time of need and one that's continued in the aftermath. So what's your reaction to reading this?
There's a large problem, there's a small problem. The large problem is football overall as a whole. You talk to anybody who's played college football, they'll tell you that hardcore off-season conditioning is something that is just a standard part of the game. The smaller part of the problem is that Maryland specifically, where they refused to call or they did not call an EMT for an extended period of time, and the relationship between the coach and the strength coach is one that created such an issue. However, overall, I think this is something where it's a solutions-based situation is what he would say. Conferences have to step in and just start regulating what happens in the offseason with these teams. You've got to find a way to make it such that they cannot hurt themselves because they will always do so given the chance because football coaches will practice every single time they want. In this case, though, Durkin's got to go. Maryland's not the kind of school that can live with this.
Israel Gutierrez?
Yeah, it does seem to me that the most disturbing part was that there are probably any number of programs out there that are this close to having something this tragic happening to them, too, because that type of culture that's been reported on by Eddie on ESPN.com, that type of culture doesn't seem like it's that different than you would kind of envision for a football program, even in 2018, because, frankly, those things just build up over time and they're just kind of there. Now, I agree with Clinton where Maryland doesn't seem to have the football background to be able to treat its players like that, but it's another reason why it makes me think that is so rampant among NCAA institutions. So I'm with Clinton. I think a lot of institutions need to check the way they approach these things and the way they handle these kids because these incidents like Jordan McNair can happen.
Woody Page?
We're decades away from the Frank Kush kind of football coaching where you ran up mountains in Phoenix where it was over 100 degrees, and they must separate themselves from the head coach, the athletic trainer, the football trainer, and especially the assistant athletic director that was in charge of performance, and he was the one conducting the off-season training session. So there was no reason for the way they're doing it, and I don't think Congress should get involved. I think the NCAA, and I know we can laugh about the NCAA, has to step in and say, these are the conditions under which you can operate. And also, I think schools should hire an independent observer to watch all practices during the year, during the off-season, and monitor what goes on, and they can report independently to the NCAA.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still coaching. Why is he still coaching? What is taking them so long to get rid of this guy? A child died under his watch, under his preseason workouts. He was the coach. He was the leader. If he was a professor in any other part of the university and this happened, he wouldn't still be there. I'm stunned he's still there. The culture has to change. The entire culture has to change. And I'm glad that the interim they named was a coach who had just got there. That's a sign that they realize everything's bad there. Everything's got to stop. Everything's got to change. And it starts with the head coach. I mean, why is Durkin still coaching the University of Maryland football?
The culture you guys are invoking here, you're talking about, Bill, Israel, you're talking about a culture of manhood being tested by the program. You're talking about bullying. Is that what you're saying, Israel? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
You're talking about bullying, talk about the incidents where, as one player said, he was forced to eat to the point of vomiting and doing things that are unhealthy to the human body. There's certain ways to get yourself ready for college football. There's certain ways to get yourself ready for the NFL. It doesn't seem that these unnatural ways
the point I think I'm trying to make here is we've seen this in a lot of different programs and a lot of different scenarios, all right? There's a cloak of secrecy among the programs, and there's also the idea that the program is bigger than one person. And that has some positives attached to it. Of course, we're all a team building up a program, but also when the program survives, when a person doesn't, in this case, like quite literally, that's what's frightening about this. We've been Horn. We're going to move on. One more headline to get to from the weekend right here. The walk-off grand slam. When your team is down 3-0 in the ninth, just the second time in history this has happened, and it was a pinch hit, 2-out, 2-striker. Can there be anything in sports that is better than what David Bote did? Clinton Yates?
Yeah, there's a lot of things better. But personally, this to me is about the Nats. I mean, look, the bottom line is that they should have never been in this position to begin with. If they had Sean Kelly there, instead they DFA'd him because he slammed a glove because their manager couldn't be involved.
So this is about the Nationals to you. It's not about the moment that we just saw, which I just told you happened only once before in Major League Baseball history. Plashke, how about you?
Yeah, it happened once before in 1936. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would say this is a momentous moment. However, the Cubs, don't forget, Jay Hayward did it just earlier this season, had a walk-off grand slam. Not of this type, but yes, this was the ultimate. I believe it's called the ultimate grand slam, the ultimate walk-off, and it was, again, historic.
Woody Page?
Well, we know the Cubs are going to be in the playoffs. We don't know that about the Nats. And Clinton, you can spell your team starting with a G, G-N-A-T-S. If they're going to lose games like that, why didn't they leave the starting pitcher in there as a chance to be the most valuable player in the league and go to that bad bullpen that you have? So it's about the Nats, and every game they have is meaningful. The Cubs can get by with losing 4 or 5 and not worry about it.
Israel?
Tony, I got you. I'll talk about the actual moment.
Thank you
Not only was it 2 strikes, it was a 2-2 count, right? At that situation, when you're down 3-0 and you have a full count, you might lean toward taking a pitch, right? Just walk and let the other guy handle all the RBI. No, it's 2-2. You're swinging. It's you're down 3-0 in this game. It's not just any other regular grand slam, and you're pinch hitting. You're pinch hitting. It's not like you're in the rhythm of this game. I think that was an amazing moment. Probably the best clutch.
I thought the other hero was Jason Hayward running out that ground ball to Defoe that he bobbled. He forced an error, a mistake by the second baseman. Great hustle.
Bill, you mentioned it was 82 years since we had this type of grand slam.
1936.
Grand slam like this. The guy who did it was a man by the name of Sammy Bird. Do you know what his claim to fame is? He was the official pinch runner for Babe Ruth. Do you know what his nickname was? Babe Ruth's legs. How cool is that? We're taking a break right here. Buy or sell on the other side. Babe Ruth's legs was his nickname. That's awesome.
That'd be his Twitter handle. That'd be his Twitter handle today.
Bird.
Around the Horn is brought to you by Summer Sprite. Unlimited freshness for a limited time.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I should have done this years ago.
Disclaimer, traveling back in time is physically impossible unless you know how to build a functioning time machine. Then by all means, travel 25 years back in time, switch your car insurance to Geico. You could save a bunch of money. While you're there, please prevent your younger self from wearing that sleeveless tuxedo t-shirt, parachute pants, and glitter high tops to your senior prom. And at long last, rectify this horrible crime against nature. Geico is absolved of all liability if you destroy the fabric of time and space.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Buy or sell.
Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. The comparison and competition will go on their whole careers. Number 1 and number 3 picks. And the throws we saw this weekend and the stats we got this weekend. Bill, are you to hear proclaim the Mayfield takeover in Cleveland or the Darnold era in New York?
You know, Darnold was solid. Mayfield was electrifying. I mean, you could see what he did in Oklahoma. You could see this. The speed wasn't too much for him. The schemes didn't seem too much for him. I was wowed by Baker Mayfield.
Woody Page?
This is a Clinton kind of answer, but I'm going to say both. Neither one of those teams is going anywhere, so why not? I mean, really, the Jets, and I mean, you're wanting to replace a 38-year-old quarterback in Bridgewater they're going to trade, and in Cleveland, you're not going anywhere. Why in the world, why don't you go to the new, younger quarterbacks for the future?
Israel Gutierrez?
I'm in on the Cleveland story. As much as I never thought Baker Mayfield would be very good, I thought he would be a bust. Like, I want to see him do well. I want to see that franchise do something special. He was the number one pick, even if it was surprising. So why wouldn't you want to see that happen? It could be wildly entertaining if Josh Gordon gets back and Jarvis Landry there. I just like what they're doing, and I like watching them. So
You've said this multiple times now, Israel, that you're thinking he's going to be a bust. Where's that coming from?
I mean, it's just watching him. It's just my football acumen. It's just my best guess, and it's not very good. But
good, you're really putting that out there. Okay, your football acumen, I believe.
Acumen.
You have to tell us you have acumen.
None of us have.
You might not have acumen. All right, Yates, how about you?
The reason why it's not both is because in the situation of the other guy getting traded, one of them is going to be a free agent, and that's in Cleveland. And that's why I think that the Mayfield situation is going to be the takeover, because from a simple transactional standpoint, it makes more sense to go with that guy on a timeline level.
All right. I'm not asking about transactional standpoints or acumen. Open up your eyes, watch the games, and tell me who looked better, Clinton Yates. Just answer that question.
Baker Mayfield always looks better, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily the smartest guy for them to put a quarterback in the Browns.
Question.
You look like you're playing golf today, Clinton, with that score. In the Browns game, the team played Antonio Callaway, rookie wide receiver, a lot. They said they did this to punish him for the traffic stop he didn't tell them about a week ago. Punishing a player by making them play a preseason game is the exact opposite of what other teams have done. Example, Jaguars are punishing Dante Fowler for this and Jalen Ramsey for this by not playing him in a preseason game this week. Would he buy or sell the Browns? Punishment by playing.
Well, I'm going to sell what they did because he has a long checkered history at Florida before he came to Cleveland. And at the combine, he tested positive for marijuana. I mean, you really don't shoot him out there to play for an entire game. You make him stand in street clothes for about 3 weeks and figure out what he's supposed to do in life. But I support Ramsey because ripping on the media doesn't call for suspension. There would be 800 guys that would have been suspended as a result of what they said about me.
Israel?
No, I'm selling on the Ramsey thing. He's basically trying to intimidate, right? He tried to intimidate a reporter who was just doing his job and just recording what he could possibly record there, and then to say, hey, you guys want a war. I mean, this is a tough climate as it is with the media. You don't need players jumping on top of that.
Clinton Yates?
Selling on the Browns. This ties back to what we talked about with football culture and what we were just discussing regarding Maryland. Sticking a guy out there in harm's way because you want to teach him a lesson and punish him just isn't smart as far as I'm concerned, and it's dangerous overall.
Harm's way being playing in the game that he's contracted to play in, or hopefully playing in. Plashke, how about you?
Yeah, Clinton showed great acumen in that answer. I agree with him completely. It isn't like you ask a guy to run laps or do up downs. He's putting him in a violent situation, putting his career at risk unnecessarily because you want to punish him. That's ridiculous.
Hold on a second. We're talking about playing in the game that's his profession. He's a football player, and you're saying...
Yeah, but it's a preseason game. It's extra reps. A lot of teams...
Sure, you could get injured, of course. And I'm sure we know what football and the risk of injuries is. But just by merely playing him is going too far in your estimation
unwarranted
here,
in a preseason. It's a preseason game. It's an unwarranted risk.
We'll move on. Baseball. Mariners sweeping the Astros to pull within 4, and Oakland's now within 2.5. And the Rockies, an all walk-off weekend over the Dodgers. 1.5 game now separates Arizona, LA, and Colorado. What to buy, what to sell, Israel, on these two divisions and two teams you never talk about?
Oh, well, I'm buying the Mariners. I'm buying them not going away. I mean, you go into Houston and take 4 games there. That's pretty impressive, especially when Edwin Diaz saves all 4. That doesn't really happen very often.
Clinton?
Exactly. They were just trying to deal with what was going to happen with King Felix, and it looked like they were worried about how this was going to go down the stretch. Now they look like they were having the most fun in baseball. D. Gordon's running around there. I love it.
Bill Plashke?
I'm selling the Dodgers. The one move they needed to make during the trade deadline was to get a bullpen depth. And now with no bullpen depth and Kenley Jansen out with an irregular heartbeat, they look bad. The bullpen blew up in Colorado. It doesn't look good for them right now.
Very solid answer. But, of course, as I got into here saying it's the two teams you never talk about, the Mariners and Rockies, so you're going to mute for that. How about you, Woody Page?
Well, Bill, that's the whole point here. Can we give some Rockies love here for a moment? I mean, the mighty, mighty Dodgers came to town with all the new players, adding millions and millions and millions. And poor old little Rockies won the last 3 games against them, and they're about to pass them in the standings in the National League West. What are you talking about, the Dodgers?
Walk-off weekend.
The Rockies will not pass
your walk-off right here, though. Clinton Yates also taking one. A bolt. We got Flash Showdown next. Good luck in Showdown. Robbing 3 home runs in a week. Is that good? Wow. What was Adam Engel's best, Bill Plashke?
Oh, his best is this third one right here because of the uniform he's wearing. He reminds me of Ron Kittle and all the times Ron Kittle ran into the wall, sort of, kind of. That was a great, tremendous uniform. That works.
The best one was the last one because it was the best one, and because it's the third one in a row where he has seemingly a signature home run robbery. He does not touch the wall. He jumps in front of it and then kind of catches the ball, touches the wall, and comes down. That is athletic.
I didn't notice that. That's great. Yeah. I'll give you a point for that, Israel. You're right about that. Those 1982 throwbacks are awesome.
I had Ron Kittle in my answer. I need points.
Ron Kittle, Harold Baines, those are great.
Carlton Fish.
We'll move on. Showdown 2 for the game and all the glory. The better play from distance. Ramon Laureano from the wall to first on a line for the throw of the year, 371 feet. Or Wayne Rooney, the dive to save the probable open net goal, which would have lost them the game, to the 50-yard pass to the head of Lucho Acosta for the game-winning goal at the death of the match. Israel, the better play from distance.
I mean, I don't even understand the question. It's clearly Wayne Rooney's. I mean, you mentioned it. There was no keeper there. That was an open net situation. And to put that pass on the dime for the win in the 96th minute, it's Rooney.
No question. Israel, the guy threw the ball, double play from the outfield fence. Justin Upton, a veteran, hustling back, sliding, stunned the whole stadium. He must have thrown the ball 400 feet. Are you kidding me? That was the best play.
I'm going with Wayne Rooney here. I'm going with Israel Gutierrez, who's also playing from distance today. That pocket square in your... it's the size of a seashell. Look at that thing.
I don't dress well
Complete accident, by the way. I just kind of shoved it in there and pulled it back out.
No,
I did want to know quickly. I swear on my life. I did want to know quickly. Carmelo Anthony finally signed his deal with the Rockets. And it is kind of comical now, as Adrian Wojnarowski reports, that there's still a possibility that he'll come off the bench. And it's Mike D'Antoni making that decision. I mean, the jokes write themselves. But I kind of want to see it happen, and I want to see it succeed. If this is the time he's going to come off the bench, what better time than to have Chris Paul probably or James Harden navigating that second team and you being able to benefit from it? I like the idea of him succeeding with Mike D'Antoni. I can't believe I just said that.
I lost to a pocket square. That's
right. Yeah, I'm calling baloney. You did not just stick that in. That is an elephant ear in your pocket, Israel. We'll see you tomorrow.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word SKILL to 797979. Just pay shipping and handling. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text SKILL to 797979. Text SKILL to 797979.